everyone. Well, firstly, I want to say thank you, Casey, SSLP, for extending the invitation for me to come here. Unfortunately, I was a little bit late. I had a few other things during the day, so I was only able to catch the very last book that was shown, and super impressed by the level of imagination and creativity that's going to tell me that story. So I think I'm just going to maybe tell a little bit about the Africa Center in terms of our history, what we've done in the past, but I think most importantly, what we are doing now and how some of that ties into projects such as these. So the Africa Center is a charity, a London-based charity, been around since 1964. And really its mission and its purpose is to promote positive conversations about Africa, right? Bringing people together and making sure that there's a positive narrative about the development and progress of the continent. Its foundations back in 1964 was really spurred on by what was happening on the continent at the time. So just to give some perspective, it was formed in 1964. This was 3 years, after the great winds of change, which resulted in 17 African countries gaining their independence. Meaning that it was for the first time 17 African countries for the first time were attaining the right to self-rule, attain the right to govern themselves. So it was a momentous occasion. So it was on the back of that change that the Africa Center was formed. It was formed also a year just before the formation of the Organization of African Unity in 1963. And again, the OAU, which is now the African Union, its foundations were based on primarily two principles: fighting to end apartheid, which was really strong at the time in South Africa, as well as ensuring that in addition to just the 17 countries, and that the rest of Africa or the rest of then still colonized countries would attain their independence too. So it was a big fight because this was less than half of the continent that was free at the time. So it's on the back of all these really momentous occasions that the Africa Center was formed in London, because what was happening at the time was a lot of people from African countries were coming to the UK either to get education because they didn't have those rights back in their countries of origin in Africa. So they were coming to the UK for education or for training. So the Africa Center was a hub, was the one place that newly arrived African students could actually come and congregate, socialize, share ideas, and actually out of the groups of some of the people that came through the doors of the Africa Center back in the day, actually emerged individuals that went on to become the first presidents of independent African states. So that's the legacy and the history of the Africa Center, and we've continued on that path up until present day. So, the theme for today was, anti-racism. It's just one of a number of things that Africa Center really champions. Promoting unity, understanding, and making sure that everybody is fully informed about the importance of social justice, equality. There were some names that we mentioned sitting that I had, like Angela Davis. Angela Davis, was a regular visitor at the Africa Center back in the day, because there would always be like seminars and talks. Prominent civil rights activists, prominent Pan-African leaders came through the Africa Center, to share information and to make sure that there was an understanding of the struggle, back in different African countries. But of course, we're in 2021 now. Does it mean that, these issues have gone away? No. It just means that the conversations have taken a different turn. And the Africa Center continues to be at the heart of making sure that it's a place that people can come and have conversations about how we can all unite and have an understanding about how we can live together, how we can coexist. So some of the things that we're doing in 2021 to make sure that we continue on this path, on this mission to educate, to inform, is to actually work with young people, such as yourselves here. So one of the things that we've done is we've actually activated a program called Education Through Culture. This was actually on the back of the pilot project that we did in October of last year with Barra College. I don't know if we have any staff from Barra College in the room today, but actually, because they're not too far away from where we are in Southern, we actually did a pilot project with them, where we went into Barra College to provide a workshop, right, teaching about racism, anti-racism, unity, social justice, equality through interactive sessions with the students, bringing in some of our delivery partners that do music, dance, poetry, and just making sure that the information is shared in a way that the students could understand and grasp. So now we're looking to extend that, to up to a wider network of schools around London and beyond that nationally. And that's when, it was actually on the back of our, activity with Borough College that we got in contact with SSLP, and we're really, really determined to do more with the schools, because we will really understand the power, the potential, the creativity, the imagination that young people have, and we want to start at that level to make sure that the correct information is shared, to make sure that what might not be available in the school curriculum right now, that there are other avenues for young people to really understand how the world works, to understand some concepts and ideas that might not necessarily be easily accessible to them through the materials that they have in the schools. And we believe that this is a much needed platform and service that the Africa Center can step in and provide. So I'm very much looking forward to connecting with other schools, outside of Southern, just so that we can really all come together and continue, supporting and promoting these and any others. So if there are any heads of schools in here, by all means, please get in touch. The Africa Center, so we actually used to be located in Covent Garden. So we had a space, a physical space that we had in Covent Garden for so many years. And we relocated about 5 or 6 years ago to Southwark, where we are now. So we actually have a physical space that we, make available for projects such as these. Actually, this event was initially meant to take place at the Africa Center. There were just some challenges, and I can appreciate why we ended up being here. But actually, that's the level of, partnership that we're looking for, where, either you can come to the Africa Center, we can come into your schools with some of our delivery partners, and we can just work together to continue on this path of education and awareness. And if I could maybe just give a last word to, just the really brilliant young people in the room today, it's just in the name of, in the words of the civil rights leader John Lewis, just continue to cause good trouble, right? Do not tire to speak up, to challenge things that you see that don't make sense to you. Just continue to cause good trouble. Continue with the good fight. You all, have that innocence. Do not allow yourself to be corrupted by maybe wrong ideas or things that maybe might be from within the family setup or from your the community of friends that you disagree with. Be bold. Be firm. There's a whole legacy of young people just like yourselves who stood up and refused to be bullied into submission and refused to be swayed the wrong way. So just continue fighting the good fight and just continue to be bold and to speak up. So thank you all very much. I look forward to welcoming some of you to the Africa Center at some point. And I hope that we can just continue with this conversation. So thank you very much for having me.